What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 3 and Out YouTube page. I'm John Middlekauff, and we are talking football all day, every day. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends. Let's roll, baby. What is happening Thursday night football? What a game! What a game! One of the all-timers that we'll never remember after tonight. Well, not if you're a Jets fan. You should be feeling good. Rodgers, I'll take the L. I like the Pats in a little upset form, like the Pats +6. That wasn't ass kicking. That looked like the Patriots early on did not want to be there, and we got to give the man his flowers. Aaron Rodgers looks like Aaron Rodgers. Well, not from the last couple years, like when he was winning MVPs. Facially looks a little old, but movement tonight, he was excellent. I mean, that game was over fast. Definitely over after the first half when the Jets outgained the Patriots 252 yards to 40. And so Drake Maye came in at the end. Jacoby was just getting destroyed. Jets played well. Absolutely destroyed them. So props to the Jets. But before we dive into this game, I got to tell you about my friends. I almost called them family. My partners, the official ticketing app of this podcast, Game Time. Right now, you can go to any game. You want to go to a baseball playoff game. You want to go to an NFL game. You want to go to a college game. You want to go to a concert. You want to sing some songs. Enjoy yourself. Bring a family member. Bring a loved one. And just jam out for the night. Well, they got you covered. Comedy shows. Want to smile. Want to laugh. Want to enjoy your night. Do it with my friends at Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code JOHN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code JOHN for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. Lowest prices guaranteed. Well. The New York Jets came to play. And I'll take the L tonight because I put a lot of faith in the team that I had seen the last 2 weeks in the Patriots, the matchup, and they got destroyed. I mean, they got absolutely housed. Like I said, the game was over very, very quickly. That was an ass whooping. And it starts and ends with Aaron Rodgers. My concern has been since this injury and what he would look like was the movement, was the scramble ability. And if you lose that, you get Jared Goff with a much stronger arm, which isn't a bad thing. Like, he's still a great player from within the pocket. But part of what made Aaron Rodgers great was the mobility. And within the first couple plays of that game, scrambled to the left. He made a throw to his right that was called back that ended up being dropped, but he hit the dude in the hands, 50-yard, just like, damn, that looks like the Green Bay Packers MVP level Aaron Rodgers. And I understand this is the Patriots who had injuries and no one thought was going to be good. They tried to change our opinion. They did mine a little bit through 2 weeks, but that's the Patriots we all expected. A bad team, a team with no offensive line, and a quarterback that, is going to be fighting for his life all season long. If Jacoby can make it 17 games, the Patriots should give him $25 million, not 10, because he was getting the shit kicked out of him tonight. That offensive line rolling out rookies who have no chance. Now, granted, they're calling holding on plays that aren't holding, but regardless, they had no chance tonight if Aaron Rodgers was going to play like that. And game over first half, he was 15 of 20 for 170 yards, a touchdown, comes right out in the second half, throws a touchdown to Garrett Wilson. But that version of that player against better teams, I might have to eat some crow on this team can't make the playoffs, because now we're going to learn a lot. They get the Broncos next week, which should be a W. So they're 3-1. Then they play at Minnesota, which before the start of the season, you said would have been a winnable game. That's much more difficult. Let's give them a loss there. They're 3-2. After 5 games, 3-2, the Jets, it's fine. Then we're going to learn who they are, because they play the Bills on Monday Night Football. And then the following week, they play the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football on the road. So if this version of Aaron Rodgers, he can stay healthy, he can stay mobile, they're going to have a chance because he's that great of a player. And the one thing that gave me hesitation the first couple weeks, like, I don't really see the offense. They got two really good players. Well, the backup running back, Allen from Wisconsin, number 0, is a 235-pound force. That is a fantastic draft pick by Joe Douglas. And you saw tonight, Morgan Moses gets injured. And we've been talking about with the Chicago Bears, props to Joe Douglas, because that would have been an easy position to draft a skill guy. And there was a lot of, connection and hype about them taking Brock Bowers. But I think we've learned over the years, lean linemen early. If you're going to miss on an offensive lineman or defensive lineman. And when they were in the position last year with all the moving parts, they take the kid out of Penn State who had to come in today. And if Moses, who knows, hopefully it's nothing. He was able to walk off, and then they go down to the sideline, and she's like, well, he walked off to where no one could see him, and then he got into a cart. So that could be kind of an old school tough guy, like, no one's carting me off this field, but I need some help. So that's something worth monitoring, but not that big a deal because you have an offensive lineman waiting in the wings. And has been a big, obviously the Jets quarterback play has been nowhere near the version of, I can't imagine being a Jets fan tonight after just watching some of the guys. It's easy to just point at Zach Wilson, but for years it's been poor quarterback play. And then get that. Like, I get you're playing a terrible team, but to watch that, to watch the confidence, to watch the ball come out of his hands, to watch that flick of the wrist, to watch just how cocky he is in his movements, when he gets hit, how he jumps up and kind of looks at the ref and pats the defensive lineman on the ass, that had to be a pretty empowering feeling. Like, you don't get to experience, often in sports, most of my life, shitty franchises that end up with a superstar at the end of their career. It's a disaster. The guy's over the hill. It's never the same. It gets your hopes up. And it felt a little bit like that last year with Aaron Rodgers' Achilles, rips right, 4 or 5 plays into the season. I would say these last couple weeks, definitely tonight, prime time, everyone watching him giving some, Matt LaFleur 2021 MVP type vibes, has to have you feeling pretty good. So I'm not raining on the parade. This is not about the opponent. You're going to look like that. You have 2 good running backs. You have reinforcements with the offensive line. Mike Williams is just a jump ball guy and a back shoulder guy. Well, who's one of the greatest to ever do that? Aaron Rodgers. Now, I'm not pivoting and acting like after one night I'm going to pick them. I said they were a 9-8 team. Now I think they can win 11 games. But that stretch against the Bills and Pittsburgh, we're going to find out how real this team is. I still contend that do not love their head coach. I just don't. I don't like their coaching staff, right? If you tell me like Robert Saleh and Nat Hackett coming into a game, like I'm not going to like them in the Bills or the Pittsburgh matchup. Like, who are you going to take? Tomlin or Arthur Smith? Sean McDermott or Joe Brady? Robert Saleh and Nat Hackett. But you got Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he just won't listen to anything Hackett says, and he'll call his own plays. And, they're going to need their defense big time to step up as they start playing some of their better opponents. But they're 2-1. Rodgers is vibing. You got to feel good. Touchdowns, TD, Huddy, taking it to the house, in for 6. I like to call it a tug. Whatever you call touchdown, one thing's for sure. Touchdowns matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. On the ground, in the air, special teams or defense, we do not care how you score them. We just want to bet touchdowns. And DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your bet today. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? I know I do it all the time. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $250 in bonus bets instantly and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code JOHN. That's code JOHN for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5
and get 1 month NFL Plus premium. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Now, from the Patriots standpoint, there's not much to say. I mean, this is a bad team with bad personnel who's now injured, who has a first-time head coach. I do think one thing that was interesting, the most interesting part of this game was nothing to do with on the field. Robert Kraft, and sometimes, old guys can say things that are just, I guess any human can do this, but listen, old guys can misremember the truth and say some things, especially owners. They don't talk that often, not named Jerry Jones. So when they do make a statement, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But if we just take this at face value and believe him, that Robert Kraft said that he decided 5 years ago that Jerod Mayo was going to be his head coach, I will give him credit because at the time it would have been pretty easy to go, yeah, Josh McDaniels is going to be our next head coach. And remember, that was a huge part of like him not going to Indy. It's like he's the coach in waiting. And then there were a lot of rumors. Well, he actually officially was not the coach in waiting. They just paid him a lot of money. But if Robert Kraft knew, listen, we like this. We love this guy as my offensive coordinator. Under no circumstances can I make him the head coach. I'm going to go with this guy that is a beloved former player, super high IQ guy, and just gets it a little bit more than Josh in terms of dealing with people. Clearly a Josh McDaniels downfall. Props to Robert Kraft, who you have to say this. He wanted Belichick when no one else did. And that one played out pretty well. And he's had a lot of time. They showed the visual tonight of him drafting Mayo way back in the day. I think was it 08 or 09 draft. And obviously he's been around him for, going on 16 years now. So we'll see how this plays out. I mean, their team is just really, really shitty. And personnel-wise, when they go into a game, I don't even have their schedule up, but unless they're playing the Panthers, they're going to be at a huge disadvantage. And anytime they play any team with a pulse and some players, it could get ugly and it could get ugly fast. I mean, their quarterback can't really move. They have an offensive line that can't block. But I will also give them credit on this. And it's going to be hard to hold to this. If Jacoby is able to stay healthy, which I would say feels like a miracle at this point in time, for the entirety of the season, if they can stick with the plan, not throwing Drake Maye out there, I'll give them credit because that is the right thing to do. And I'm a big believer in you learn by experience. I say it all the time. It's why I like playing rookie quarterbacks. It's why I always recommend. So many people talk, well, I'm going to do this. Just do it. Just do it no matter what you do, no matter what industry you work in. Sometimes you just have, that's the only way you improve. But in this situation, with those people blocking for him, it could get him killed. And I think the risk for a guy that is a project when no one can block for him is the risk is not worth there. Now, is he not going to gain certain steps by not getting on the field? For sure. Obviously, you can improve mentally and through practice, which I also give them credit, is no team lets anybody take first team reps but your starting quarterback. It's the way the NFL works. All the star quarterbacks never give up one rep. Occasionally, certain teams may give 5% of the reps. They're going 70-30. And I think sometimes the nature of football, I got to win now. They are seeing the big picture. So giving him extra reps that no team gives their backup quarterback in practice does have value. And that's part of the reason why I'm a big proponent. Like rookie quarterbacks, if you're not the starter, you're just kind of servicing the starting defense. You're not working on your own offense. You're not working on implementing a game plan because you don't take any of the reps. Well, the Patriots are bucking that trend a little bit and doing it a little differently. So I do think that's really smart. And that they deserve credit for kind of getting it because no one usually gets it. That's not the way that's not the way it works. It's not the way it ever happens. So it's going to be a long season. Tonight, I mean, they were a couple injuries and listen, road team Thursday night, but still, I mean, that was bad. They looked probably by the second or third series like they didn't really want to be there. And in the NFL, when you're playing Aaron Rodgers and you just don't want to be there, you're going to get mollywopped. And that's what happened tonight.